Obviously, not a very good week for Disney. Bob Iger, that man has surprised the hell out of even me with how much he has a capacity for, I'd say, sticking his foot in his mouth, but somehow bending it back around and sticking it up his own ass. It's just, I don't know. I mean, you saw our reaction video when we covered the live call or the earnings call live on Wednesday.
Yes.
I mean, when he started going into how this was unfair to Disney and how this, they didn't apply this law to the other 2,000 special districts in Florida.
Stu, it wasn't even that. It was that they didn't even directly ask the question. They're just like, well, there's all this Florida business and I'm concerned. He didn't even have to answer it. He could have just deflected the question because it was a two-part question. So here's your evading politician answer, which Iger's clearly, this is why he'll never be president, is because he doesn't know how to evade a question. Just answer the first part and ignore the second part of the question that's unfavorable to you. It's an earnings call. It's not a deposition. You don't have to say anything. But he goes out there and he makes this statement, which is damning and incriminating, which is saying Disney is Reedy Creek. He keeps doing that. He keeps using the we, the royal we, right?
It's the royal
Disney
we,
royal we, right?
What's this we crap? You got a Mickey Mouse in your pocket or something? I mean, come on.
He's gonna have securities fraud in his pocket in a second. So, and he keeps is quoting all these numbers and facts and figures that just make him look like an idiot. Because yes, there are 2,000 special districts in Florida, but none of them have the powers of our CID. It just proves Florida's point, right? So he's kind of making the case against Florida, which is why this state case is going to be so strong, and why I'm more and more convinced every day that there may well be criminal charges coming down the pike, other civil infractions. There's a reason why the Attorney General office is doing investigations into those emails that they sent that are undisclosed. I think there could be things coming down because DeSantis has said it. He said this is just the start, right? This is not the finish. Right. So I think there's stuff coming down the pike for Disney. And, the ramifications are piling up. I just had a video that I put out on DVC, Disney Vacation Club.
I saw that today.
Those maintenance fees are going up. The only question is by how much. It's not whether they're going up. By the way, they go up every single year. That's one of the scams about it is the maintenance fees are always going up. They never go down. But that aside, Disney is going to have to increase them. And that's partly because the new district is coming in and they're actually going to enforce the laws. Isn't that weird that they're actually going to enforce things like building and fire codes that they're going to come in and inspect? They're going to come in and make sure everything is up to code, up to date. And they're actually going to have real consequences for Disney. And they're not just going to pay the executives huge salaries. Because, by the way, that's what was happening at RCID. The executive level people were being paid 4 to 8 times what normal managers would, normal people at that level within organizations.
And did you notice this week, Andrew, everybody's getting hung up, the mainstream media getting hung up on the fact that the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District they brought in an administrator and they're like, my God, they're paying him $400,000 a year. I'm like,
that's not abnormal at all. The administrators that I hired for other districts were routinely paid $200,000. These are very specific professionals.
Yes.
That's how much professionals that are very specific and very niched.
Especially when they're managing a district that is responsible for potentially tens of billions of dollars of revenue to the state over the course of decades.
Beyond that, and they said it during the meeting, this guy will instantly be deposed. Imagine I was going to hire you for a job. Imagine I'm going to hire Jeremy, and I'm like, Jeremy, I'm going to hire you for a job. You're instantly going to be in court, and that's going to be on top of your 40-hour work week. That's going to be another 30 hours of your week. What amount of money am I going to have to pay you? Well, about double. Because that's going to be a pain in the ass. Because not only do you have to do your regular job, you have to deal with you have to deal with a-hole lawyers like myself, just sitting there and grilling you. Okay, fine. D-bag lawyers like myself grilling you with questions for the rest of your week. It's not fun. Nobody wants to do that.
Well, Disney did this to themselves, though. I mean, their arrogance got them in this position. And again, Walt Disney World. I mean, we cover theme parks at Geeks and Gamers, and Walt Disney World is a massively successful place in terms of the overall numbers, but the market share, which is the thing you have to be concerned with, that is what has been hurt recently in the last few years with Universal. Universal has gotten into that market share, and I keep telling people this. I was like, I don't see any scenario where Universal will ever actually like beat Disney in terms of sheer numbers, just based on size and how much land Disney has. But the market share is the most important thing. The market share has been hurt. Harry Potter hurt them significantly. Their identity politics has hurt them. And now with Super Nintendo World opening in Orlando a couple of years, which is going to be a much better experience than what you have in California, they're going to continue to chip away at that. And that is what the problem for Disney is moving forward, is that market share.
Yeah, I think
the
when you
last
get into
bastion
aggregate,
at this point is the Magic Kingdom. I mean, in terms of actual attendance, the only thing that Universal hasn't overtaken is the Magic Kingdom. And that's, as you said, Jeremy, it's just simply a mass or simply a matter of just sheer mass of land size, capacity, actual capacity. Epic Universe is going to be a big park, bigger than the other two that Universal has right now, by my understanding. So, I mean, they're going to be starting to run those numbers up. And it's going to be interesting to see, because also during that earnings call, I found it fascinating that, again, I think this is the level of frustration at this point that Bob Iger is dealing with. And I think it's getting to the point now where he's realizing that he is on the losing end of this battle, especially with Florida, because he's talking about, well, either Florida wants us to invest more money here and hire more people, or they don't. And it's like, well, he knows they can't just up and leave. And if he doesn't want to invest more money into Disney and expand it and make it better and do this, that, and the other thing, Universal is already on tap. They are accelerating their timeline for opening Epic Universe. Universal's sitting back laughing right now going, yeah, Bob, do it. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I gotta challenge you on one thing, because I heard from a very reliable source on Twitter. His name is Keith Olberman, and he told me that Disney should just get a couple of U-Haul trucks and pack up Walt Disney World and move to, I think, Costa Rica or Puerto Rico, or
absolutely,
or
absolutely,
Afghanistan or something. And Olberman seemed to think that was pretty easy. Get a couple of U-Haul trucks, obviously the maximum size ones, and just move Disney World, which is literally twice the size of Manhattan. But Olberman thinks you just get a couple of, hey, my neighbor has a F-150. Yeah, we can bring that one over too to help you, Disney. Like, these clowns think that Disney can move. They can't move from Florida. It might bankrupt the company if they were to try to move Walt Disney World.
It would absolutely bankrupt them.
It's not possible.
It would be more efficient for them to sell and then try to rebuild if they were going to do anything. I mean, like in an emergency, an extreme situation, that would be the most crazy thing to ever happen. But that would be the more efficient than to try to.
Even that though, Andrew. Here's the thing: think about what the Walt Disney World Orlando property has currently sitting on Disney on their balance sheet as a book value. It's worth 10 cents on the dollar in the open market. Why? Because Disney is not going to. They cannot sell the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Universal or not Universal, Hollywood Studios, and all this other crap without telling people, well, you can't use Cinderella's castle when we sell it to you. You can't use the Epcot ball. You can't use there's nothing there. There's no value there but the dirt.
What if they rent them out for birthday parties? Can we just rent out certain parts of the park for birthday parties? We can have like a kegger or a tailgate party. We can't use it, but we can ruin it slightly with the projectile of our vomit.
That's just they listen. I don't know. Raise everything to the ground.
No. You have not seen the Chinese knockoff parks, Valiant. We can do this.
I forgot.
Oh, come on.
We can do this.
Castle into a paintball field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just open up Mickey Mouse paintball. Go to town. Run down the Magic Kingdom. Just take some shots.
Run down Main Street and just shoot everything. Actually, that would be not bad. Open it as a tactical shooting range.
You've heard the running of the bulls, right? You got running of the mascots. They run, we shoot. Keep going.
Oh God!
I mean, I have wanted to pull out a paintball gun on It's a Small World. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too. When you get stuck on there for 3 hours, you wanted to drink that water and hope for the best. You come out like the Lizard Queen from Simpsons.
Oh, sweet Jesus! Oh Lord. Okay. Oh Lord. Well,
therapy.
Look, I don't know how long you gentlemen have, but
they still have a lot of, to be fair guys, even in Walt Disney World, Florida, they still have a lot of undeveloped land. They still have land that is developable. So they still have parcels they can break off and sell in case of emergency, break off and sell large segments of it. They've also got subsidiaries which own neighboring property, that some of which has been DNX, which they can sell off. So they have components that they can sell off in order to preserve the core entities.
What if they open up a new Disney World, though, Andrew, but they do it in the theme of Fallout? Just post-apocalyptic Disney World.
Honestly, if they
already
actually
did that. They already did that. It's called Galaxy's Edge. It's called Galaxy's Edge.
I don't acknowledge that as real.
Galaxy's Edge is the most depressing place ever.
I would legit attend though a Fallout theme park.
Yeah.
If you give me a Pit Boy,
We made a world that looks like kind of like Tatooine.